So we have the latest construction look at the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind Rollercoaster that's going to be opening in 2021 at Epcot. So let's dive into all of that up next. This video is sponsored by Mickey Travels, a platinum level authorized Disney vacation planner which can take the hassle out of all of your vacation planning. So visit the link in the description box to get your free quote today. Hi there Waltoniers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and I just want to say very quickly, happy Rise of Resistance Day to everyone out there in Disneyland who are getting to experience it for the first time as it's opening on January the 17th today. And also, considering that that's one ultra immersive attraction, I think it's about time that we start looking towards the horizon with Cosmic Rewind. As it's definitely an understatement to say that there's quite a bit of construction taking place around Epcot at the moment, and this is going to be the case for the next 2 to 3 years, as Epcot completes its multi-year transformation to become more timeless, more relevant, and yes, more Disney, whilst also repositioning itself around the new mission statements of reality made fantastic and the magic of possibility. However, when discussing all of this Epcot construction, most of the attention has inevitably been concentrated on the demolition of Innoventions West, and it's easy to see why, as it's pretty unavoidable that when you enter Epcot and make your way through to World Showcase, you're going to notice the demolition and sizable construction site extending out into the centre of Future World. And while there isn't much more to say on it right now, it is expected that the complete removal of Innoventions West should be finished within the next 2 to 3 months at the latest, which means that very soon the east and west bypasses that I detailed back in November are going to become more important than ever, especially as the centre of Future World becomes a closed off section and guests will enter Epcot and World Showcase mainly through Future World East or Future World West. And so that brings us to the topic for today, as we can see that more of the repaving and the new construction walls have been erected around Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in preparation for the expected bypass to open. And while so many have been focused on Innoventions West or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, we actually have an all new glimpse at the construction taking place inside the former Universe of Energy building. As when you enhance this photo, you can see that the circular steel beams have now been installed, which are the same as these beams on the ground outside of the attraction. Now this construction look here is a bit of a rarity, as so much of this project has remained under wraps, quite literally, with this tarp preventing any inside glimpse at the construction inside the former Universe of Energy building. But it's safe to say that what we're looking at here is the construction on the Galaxarium, which will be a planetarium-like exhibition that explores the similarities and mysteries of the formation of Earth's galaxy, along with Xandar as well. Now the reason why we know that this is going to be the Galaxarium is because of a rough layout of the building that has been revealed by insiders in the past. And so as you enter this main building, which most likely will be extended out in some way as can be seen in the concept art with additional theming, the first queue space will be this sort of informal pre-show experience, similar to that of a looped pre-show video and exhibit in the Collector's Fortress within Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at Disney California Adventure. But there's also some additional evidence that's pretty obvious. As you can see here within this concept art that was displayed at D23 Expo, that guests will wind around the central atrium and around the exhibit whilst also ascending up an incline to the next level, which is further confirmed by this construction image of the suspended circular beams which will support those walkways, and they're roughly around head height. Now an inclined queue is not uncommon for indoor roller coasters at Disney, as evidenced by Rock 'n' Roller Coaster and Space Mountain, which both require guests to ascend up to a higher level as the coaster track needs to be somewhat elevated. But despite the former Universe of Energy building not housing the main part of the roller coaster experience, the height of the show building means that it can be used effectively for an elevated load area. And it's quite surprising to think that this building's staggering 92,000 square feet, which is twice the size of the entirety of the Haunted Mansion's attraction show building, will only be used for the elaborate pre-shows, boarding experience, and only the beginning part of the attraction, with the actual main bulk of the roller coaster track set inside the newly constructed 11-story tall gravity building at the back. So for Walt Disney Imagineering to be utilising such an immense amount of space for what is essentially just the queue and pre-show areas, it just goes to show as an indication that more than ever, Disney Disney is doubling down on making every part of an attraction as immersive and story-driven as possible, meaning that your experience will begin the moment that you step foot into the queue, in much the same way as Rise of Resistance, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, or Flight of Passage. And so that brings us to the next part of this story, as we've got some vague outlines of the internal components of these two buildings. And when I say vague, I do mean that they might change slightly in different places, but I still feel that it's worth dissecting and diving into, as it helps us further decrypt details about this attraction. As first of all, here's a basic outline of the internal components that will be within the former Universe of Energy building, with this area here being the Galaxarium that guests will walk up and around and ascend to the second level. Then once on the second level, this is where there'll be more switchbacks and themed queue space. However, we haven't received any concept art for this next area as of yet, but it is safe to say that it will be highly themed to the futuristic Xandarian design aesthetics, and will be somewhat reminiscent of the Nova Corp headquarters from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. But then after this, you'll proceed into one of two pre-show rooms, which is said to be depicted within this concept art here, released in 2017. And this is where we'll first encounter the Guardians of the Galaxy, with a full-size Milano and Peter Quill and Gamora appearing through the same type of semi-transparent projection technology as is used within the Rise of the Resistance pre-show area as well. However, Rocket and Groot will most likely be in animatronic form, as Walt Disney Imagineering has created an extremely lifelike version of Rocket for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout already, so it's only logical that the same will be applied here as well. And then from there, you'll enter the load platform area, which will be in a sort of circular looped formation, with it feeding back around from the unload area. Then once you board the roller coaster, you'll be inside your very own Nova Corp inspired ride vehicle, which is omnidirectional and has 360-degree controlled rotation. And then the first part of the track is most likely when you ascend up this ramp here, as we can see thanks to BioReconstruct, that is inside the back of the Universe of Energy building and not part of the maintenance service and storage building which was later constructed. But then instead of turning into the launch tunnel, you'll turn inward to face in the opposite direction, as of course we already know that this roller coaster is going to have a reverse launch. Now I imagine at this section there will be some sort of show scene or story point, as we know that the base storyline is that you're receiving an educational tour of the galaxy by the Xandarians. That is until the Guardians of the Galaxy show up, and through some sort of mishap they send us and them rocketing back in time all the way to the Big Bang. And then we'll embark on an absolutely awesomely chaotic adventure jumping throughout time and space. Now we know that there's going to be a dramatic reverse launch at speed out into the tunnel and inside the main gravity building, as we can see here that a piece of track entering the building is inclined with a banked turn to the right, which I reckon is at the beginning of the coaster and not at the end, as we can see from the other side that there's a descent down a ramp with some track going from the gravity building into the energy building. So it's only logical that the two pieces of track for the inclined bank turn and then the descent down will be in that order. But obviously we don't have that confirmed as of yet. But then we come to the main track layout, and we only really have a rough indication of what the track layout will be, as it's difficult to show it as being 100% absolutely accurate, as the nature of tightly enclosed roller coasters like this is that the track is best viewed three-dimensionally instead. But I can confirm that the track will consist of many helixes and tight turns, but no inversions of any kind, and that means no corkscrews and no loops, as instead this will be the first ever storytelling roller coaster for Disney, meaning that it will offer thrill, but also with the use of the omnidirectional ride design, it will be 360-degree immersion, as the Guardians of the Galaxy will use the neuroteleportation network to go through multiple jump points in time and space, which will be made possible through projection domes and spheres that will dynamically change the environment that we're all within. So overall, that's all we have on Cosmic Rewind for the time being, but with this expected to open in the second half of 2021 as part of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, we'll be sure to come back and cover it more over the next year. And then lastly for today, we have the debut of 3 new films at Epcot, which are kickstarting the International Festival of the Arts for this season. And first of all, we have Awesome Planet within the Land Pavilion, which is my personal favourite out of the 3 new movies, as it uses Ty Burrell's Phil Dunphy character from Modern Family to act as a real estate agent for planet Earth, giving you a guided tour of a planet that we all call home. Now obviously it has stunning visuals, but it also packs a powerful message about conservation and climate change, which keeps some of that edutainment alive within Epcot. And then the next movie is the new Circle Vision 360 film Canada Far and Wide, which removes a lot of the humour of the previous version with Martin Short, and in my opinion underutilises Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara's comedic talents. But overall, it's a nice update to the film that keeps it relevant for modern day. And then lastly, we had the Beauty and the Beast sing-along show that will be playing mostly throughout the day at the France Pavilion. However, at the time of this recording, Disney is being extremely strict with regards to the filming policy for this show. So I haven't had a chance yet to be able to review it, but I'll be sure to put links down below in the description box to Big Fat Panda's videos so you can go ahead and watch them for yourself. But now, it's over to you, the Waltoniers. I would like to know, what are your thoughts and opinions on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, certain parts of the attraction, what you'd like to see within the attraction, and just generally, how are you feeling toward it? And also, if you could create an all-new roller coaster themed to any Disney IP, and it could be outlandish or it could be realistic, then what would it be and how would it function? And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere in this video along with your suggestion or your comment to be in the chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Waltonier here for winning this suggestion from a previous video where we're talking all about the possibility of Disney-themed escape rooms. And so that's it for today, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification icon so that you always receive an update, and also if you enjoyed this video all about the Cosmic Rewind roller coaster, which is kind of a tongue twister, then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.